So after the fleece auction closed on the 28th, where I had listed 43 fleeces, I think, there were 11 left that hadn't sold. I'm taking a look at them now, and I'm gonna just talk about them in this video because some of them I'm gonna just list for sale outright. Some of them I might keep to put into 1 ounce packets for myself. So the first fleece I'm looking at here is from Brienne. And Brienne is a More at You. She's 5 years old. Spinning fineness of 24.6, which is actually one of the higher diameters for our flock. And a staple length of 2 inches. So this is along the spine. And yeah, it is. It's about 2 inches staple length. It's a really pretty light brown color. Shearing quality is okay. I rooed her last year and I just didn't have the heart for it this year because she really didn't care for it. So there are second cuts in this fleece. Like right there is a slab of a second cut, which is fiber that you just can't use. And she does have pretty well-formed tips. So I didn't acknowledge this when I listed it, but honestly, I would probably wash this and spin it. It's probably short enough that you could spin it from the locks, but I don't know. So that's Brienne's fleece. If this doesn't sell outright, I think I'm going to wash it and then offer it. I do these washed curly locks for hand spinners that are trying to do art yarn, but I wash them. And they also work really nicely for needle felted sheep. And this will be cute for that, I think, too. And then some of this britch wool could actually be spun because it's longer. Normally britch wool is a little bit longer. So that's Brienne's fleece. So yeah, so I will relist this one if anybody wants it. So I have it set up. It's going to be $72 for this fleece. And it's an 18 ounce fleece. This fleece is from our ewe Pasture. She's a black ewe. This was a Rude fleece. I only have 1/2 of it out to show. The other half, I do her Rude fleeces in 2 pieces. It's going to look the same because it's just the other side. And the fleece this is the back. This is the belly. Let me see here. It's hard to tell with Pasture because she's so nice on both sides. This is the head, and that's the britch, but it's very consistent all through. There's a good amount of bleaching tips, and probably a lot of that is going to break off in combing or carding, which is pretty consistent, the same with most of our fleeces. So Pasture is 6 years old and has managed to hold the fineness, which is what we're breeding for. So her spinning fineness is 21.9. With a really low standard deviation. So it's got a pretty good histogram in terms of not going up into that prickle factor next to skin soft, if that's what you like. The total fleece weight is 17 ounces. I have it listed at 102. Her staple length isn't super long. In the photo for the listing, you know, when you put it by the ruler, it's right around 2 inches. I'm just going to pull out a section here. That's misleading. It's probably longer. I think you would get a good flicked lock or combing result with this fleece. She's got little tiny flecks. It's probably the same amount as you would see in other colored fleeces. It's just that it stands out more in the black. That will wash out. And if this one doesn't sell, I'll be fine with that. And I'll probably take it and flick it, and depending on how the locks are, card it into bats or spin it into hand split yarn to put into my shop. So that's Pasture's fleece, so that'll be going in the fleece sale. This next fleece is out of Are You Gertrude. I rued this fleece. Gertrude is a 2021 lamb, so she was a year old, and I rued her. It's gray. She's a gray catnugget. I already know what I would do if this doesn't sell. I know what I'm going to do with it. So it's a rued lamb fleece, which means both ends are pretty much perfect. I'm not going to try to get this all spread out. It's a very pretty gray. Some darker bits at what looks like the neck. The whole thing is so soft and fine that it's impossible for me to tell you which is which. It's very tippy. By that I mean you've got a lot of very well-defined tips, and I find this really nice, and I did it this year with one fleece, to just wash it and then put it on the drum carder very slowly as is. Don't flick it or comb it or anything. And so use the entire fleece and then spin it from that to get a very slightly textured yarn. I didn't have as much texture as I thought I was going to when I did it with Perdita's wool, and her fleece was like this as well. I feel like you could flick it if you wanted to pull it out by the locks, but I feel like that would be very tedious because the locks are so broken up. A nice staple length. You know, I've got 2 inches on the listing. It is probably a little more than 2 inches, but it would stretch quite a bit more, maybe to 3. Spinning fineness of 17.2, that's extremely fine, right? I mean, that's remarkable. The coat, so it's a total of 13 ounces. I'm going to be listing this one as a standard listing without an auction. None of these will be auctioned, they'll all just be priced to sell, and you just go on and put it in your cart and check out like a normal sale. This one is going to go on for $71.50, and like I said, if I don't sell this one, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cart it and offer it as bats. Nice. She's out of Lakshmi and John Snow, 2 really nice gray sheep. Lakshmi, I did a feature on her in my a couple episodes ago. So that's Gertrude. Next up is the fleece from Are You Audi. She's named after the NPR commentator Audie Cornish. It was a rude fleece. It's black. She's a solid black hue. Again, I'm seeing those little flecks, but they're not, it's not like scurf or dander. That's a bad thing. It's just very typical. So I rued her, but her locks, you can see, have stayed nice and compact, which is what I like. Tiny little bits of grass in here that will take you 5 minutes or less to remove. Okay, so Audi is 4 years old. She's got a spinning fineness of 21.9 and a staple length that we put in the listing of 2.5 inches. Right, if you stretch it out. But still, 2.5 inches, nice and soft and crimpy. The total fleece weight is 31 ounces. So the price is $186. So I charge a little more per ounce on the black fleeces than I do on the brown-based fleeces, because it just seems like they are more popular. So I don't think I'm going to list this one, actually. I think what I'm going to do with this one is break it into the 1 ounce packets and put them in my shop. And I like to do that on a few fleeces, just so that if somebody would like to try spinning a super fine Shetland fleece from us, but they don't want to commit to an entire fleece. And I it's a nice thing to have. I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that they appreciate that. So that's what I'm going to do with Audi's fleece. So this one will not be going up onto the site. And my expectation is that I'll have all these, they'll be up there and ready to purchase Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm just going to say it again, it's not going to be an auction. I'm just going to turn the listings on at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And then you'll be able to go in and just select, you know, add your fleeces to the cart, the ones you want, check out as normal. I can't put them up right now for you to review, which is why I'm making this video, because the platform that I use for my e-commerce doesn't allow me to do that. If it's showing up on the website, it's active and able to be purchased. So I can't do like a preview like I did with the auction, where the auction had a start time and an end. Hope that makes sense. Ophavia's fleece, she's a white ewe. This is a sheared fleece. Ophavia's very sweet. I love her. I just did her feet yesterday. So she's got a nice pedicure going on. So sheared, and Ophavia is 3 years old. Beautiful white fleece. The white fleeces show the dirt a little bit more, but this is going to wash up beautifully. Okay, so her fiber length, staple length is 3 inches. Spinning finest 21.5. Her fleece weight is 19 ounces, so the price on it is $95. So this is a sheared fleece, and the way it sets up is this side is her, this is where her head is, pretty sure. And this is the breech. So really nice curly tips, which is making me think I'd like to, if this doesn't sell, I'll wash this and do a curly locks 1 ounce packs as well. Now she has got some issues, some shearing issues, a little, okay? So if you're gonna purchase this fleece, you're gonna have to comb it or flick it to get rid of the base. And that's one of the downsides, right, of shearing the Shetlands, is that she probably was sheared after she hit the rise. There's a little bit more. And so there's some of that. And then maybe some second cuts. Other parts of it are fine. So that's Ophavia. I won't really mind if this one doesn't sell, but I will offer it because it's the only white one that I have left. This fleece is from RU Mira Reed. I don't know why I keep on saying RU, because I don't offer ram fleeces, but whatever. So Mira Reed is a fawn cat mugget. There's stuff I love about her fleece, and there's some things that vex me. I feel like this is her breech right here, and there was more breech I actually skirted off, but this remained. I feel like it's too different from the balance of the fleece, and that's one of our goals with our sheep, is that the whole fleece is the same quality. So you can see it's got a beautiful length and gorgeous crimp, but this is quite different in appearance from this wool here. And that's something we're trying to breed out. But this is a really pretty fleece. Mira Reed, it was sheared. It's a nice big fleece. Let's see here. 27 ounces. And a really nice long staple length. I would say 3.5, 4 inches. Her spinning fineness is 22.8. Now that's based on the sample that we took here. It's possible that the wool over here, closer to the breech, is going to be a little higher fiber diameter, but it's still really soft and nice. So this is Mira Reed. I'm debating, I wanted to make 1 ounce packets out of this, but I have another fawn fleece that I'm going to do that with that I didn't even put in the auction from our lamb Tatiana. And this will go listed for 108. Mira Reed. And you can see on the back side, by the way, so when we shear, we try to clean the shearing surface, the floor, but sometimes there's some bits that are left from prior shearings or whatever. She's got some of that stuck on the back of her. But nothing, it's not like it's dug into the fiber or easily removed, but with picking or shaking it off or whatever. And pretty good shearing quality. You know, she's got, there's maybe a couple of these little bits and nips and naps. I would definitely, this is definitely a fleece that I would flick and comb to process into yarn. There's this intoxicating honeysuckle smell coming over from the overgrowth over there. Oh my gosh, it smells really good. It's a native plant. I don't know anything about it, but it's everywhere and it grows like crazy. It smells amazing. This is Lakshmi's fleece. So I did a feature on her, like I said, when I was talking about her lamb's fleece, Gertrude. Lakshmi is a gray catnugget. This is the back side of her rude fleece. You can see the range of gray, light to dark. I'm not going to unroll both sides because they look identical. More open. If you remember Audi's fleece, how tight and compact it was. This is a little bit more open for whatever reason, just the way she rues, I guess. Okay, so 2-inch staple. I would say that is on the shorter side. Spinning fineness of 21.7. Her fleece is not normally on the short side like that. Her tips are very coiled. I rued her last year, so it's almost the equivalent of a lamb fleece, a rude lamb fleece, because the top and the base are both perfectly pristine. You know what I would do with this one? I would either drum card it as is without any flicking or anything, and then have a textured yarn. This one you could sort the color and create the gradient going from all the light to all the dark, and you could probably do it by just taking both sides of the fleece and separating out the amount of light to dark that you want. I think that would be really cool. That's what I would do. I would split it up into by color to get 1 ounce bats, but then have them be a gradient. Spin them into a textured yarn. You could also make this into a locked, curly block yarn because it is fairly short staple. I will list Lakshmi's fleece. It's going to be 22 ounces. It's going to go up for $121. And don't feel bad if these don't sell, because I will be really happy to have them to do on my own. They're so special. This fleece is out of our use Susan. And Susan is 4, has a spinning fineness of 22.1. She was sheared. This has a really nice density to it. It's a light moret. She's registered as moret, but she probably has what I was talking about before. She probably has the modifier gene that takes the color, in this case brown, and lightens it. So it's a taupe. It'll spin up into this beautiful mocha fleece. 3-inch staple, so good staple length. Fleece is going to be 31 ounces. I have it listed at $124. Let's take a look at the shearing quality. It's actually pretty good. Little bits here and there. So very tempted to keep this for myself, but I know there's quite a few people that asked me to relist these. So I'm not going to keep it. If I were keeping it, I would put it in 1 ounce packets with raw fiber, but I'll go ahead and offer it as a full fleece. And if it doesn't sell, then it'll go into the 1 ounce packets. So that was Susan, named after Susan Stamberg. There's a section there with some second cuts. Next there is Fanny. I always remember we took Fanny's fleece when we used to show fleeces, which we don't do anymore. We took her fleece to a festival in Wisconsin, Jefferson, and she won some big prize. It was very exciting. So this is a sheared fleece. She is a fawn catnugget. Very dense and nice. She's got darker taupey bits, and she's also got nice light bits. 2-inch staple, maybe a little bit longer than 2 inches. Spinning fineness of 23. She's 7 years old, so that's pretty remarkable. She's a great ewe for breeding. The fleece weight total is 30 ounces, and it's $120, mainly because there's so much fiber here, so much wool. Shearing quality is pretty good. Not seeing much issues, not a lot of second cuts and stuff, so again, yes, I will be putting Fanny's fleece up in the auction. Why do I keep saying that? I will put Fanny's fleece up in the sale. So the next fleece I have here is from Viola, who I actually just finished clearing up her breech and belly wool in her neck and stuff yesterday. This is a Rude lamb fleece, a great catnugget. So she's a year old. She's just, I'm grinning because she's such a little firecracker. I really like this little lamb. She's not a lamb anymore, a yearling, I should say. And this one is, you know, well, some parts of it are nice and compact, but some other parts she kind of put up a bit of a stink, so I wasn't able to keep it as compact. So you could do a couple things. You could card this or comb it. You could put it on the drum carder as is. It's nice and clean. I'd said this before, my lamb fleeces got the coats on really early last summer, since we started hay earlier. And the lambs were so small, they were going to get the brunt of the hay. So we coated them quite early, so they're just nice. Nice. She's got some darker bits too. Spinning fineness was 20.3, staple length 3 inches. There's 14 ounces total with both halves for $77. So that's Viola. Wind is starting to kick up, so it's good I'm down to my last fleece here to show you. This last one is from Susan B. She's also out of Lakshmi. So in the listing, I think I made the comment that she did have a good amount of flaky scurfiness, and I listed it as a fleece anyways, regardless, and I think I did it because I believe it will wash out. I'm not 100% sure, and I thought that perhaps a very experienced fleece processor would have a good method for eliminating that. So there's not like enormous flakes of it, but it's more than any of the other fleeces that I saw. But it's a gorgeous black fleece. I mean, it's a full package. She's got a 3-inch staple length, nice and dense. This is a Rude fleece. I would flick this for sure if it were me. Spinning fineness of 23.9. There's 27 ounces, both halves, so that's 162. And again, there's probably a little bit more bits and pieces in here, but since I would flick this probably, most likely, those pieces are going to come out super quickly and easily. Like, there's nothing really deeply impregnated in the locks. It's always just these loose hanger bits here. So that's the 11 fleeces that did not sell in the auction that I'm going to be listing on my website, going live next Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Just wanted to take you through them all so that you could know everything that's going to be up there, so you won't have to spend time researching and reading. And you can use this information I'm sharing with you right now to make your selections if you wanted to try again. And like I said, don't feel badly if if there's nothing here that interests you, or if things don't sell Friday, because I can find a use for all of them. So thank you very much. Appreciate your support of the farm, and for those of you that like to get raw fleeces, thank you very much. Appreciate your support. I had a nice time last weekend out videoing some footage from the pasture, so I just thought I would share this week. These are the adult rams on a farm, and there's 4 in this pen. Right here we see Frederick on the right, Loki in the center, and Pearl's Morat ram on the left. We still need to come up with a name for him. Jon Snow has been staying off by himself. Not really sure if it's because he's not feeling well or just doesn't like getting bullied by the other guys. And here's all of our yearlings. And they have a whole pasture, but when I come over, they always congregate here so they can see if I have anything good for them to eat. These are the yearling rams. Now we're going to head out and see the lambs. They're out on the pasture with their mothers and all of the other unbred ewes. And here's where they kind of trample down the grass and make paths, and that's all grass that they won't eat. I love it when they notice me from a distance and the heads start popping up in the pasture, where before you couldn't see any sheep at all. Grass is so tall. This is Ilara. Hey, Ilara. And she's out there with her 2 white lambs. She's always the last one to come in at night for whatever reason. You like those buttercups, Bella? This is Pasture on the left, the black ewe with her 2 gray catmugget ram lambs, and Ophavia is on the right with her 2 rams. Hello, little man. So the lambs are 2 months old. What do you think? Here's your face. Here you go. We started lambing, was it April 18th? We had our first lamb. grass is taken care of, rubbing off the wool from Mrs. Hughes. So funny with the smaller lambs, all of a sudden they just disappear in the thick grass. Just like that, they disappear. Saren? This is Saren. She's a black ewe with a white patch on the top of her head, so that's how I can tell it's Saren. One of my last. Oh, I bet you that's Saren's lamb. Get a fawn cat and get. This is Sojourner's little black ram. Shades before I did that. That was Paul and her girl. I think I see you. So this is Audi's little black ewe lamb. Audi had a ewe and a ram, and this little ewe has decided she's my best friend.